This is Devansh Lakhani from Lakhani Financial Services. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic on EdTech startups and how these startups are changing the education system in India and the way students are learning practical stuffs in India rather than the boring theoretical stuffs. We all have noticed a certain change. Obviously, during this lockdown, EdTech startups have been in news for various reasons, and why not? During this lockdown, they have the time, they have shown that this is their time to shine and rise. In fact, in India, EdTech startups is the second biggest industry in the world. That is, the Indian EdTech sector is the second biggest in the world and is about to touch $3.2 billion market size in by 2022. So that is huge. In fact, schools and education institutes, they all have had to turn to technology to actually teach during this lockdown time also. Over the last 150 years, guys, you all must have just understood or just must have seen that education system in India has been very hardcore. It's been by brick and mortar, the schools, colleges, etc., where everything, the whole education was just designed in a manner that is exam driven, that is boring, that is monotonous, that is theoretical, that is impractical. But now with the advent of technology, we all are in this particular situation or place where practical application of knowledge is going to be more important than just the theoretical things that we've learned in school over the years. This is going to be a massive change. More importance is going to be given on learning and on implementation of the knowledge or the information that you garner from those particular learnings, right? So that is a massive change that is happening in India currently, and that's why today I'm going to talk about 3 EdTech startups that are really changing the landscape of education in India by way of virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, artificial intelligence. They're doing some very great things. So let's find out which 3 EdTech startups are these which are changing the landscape of education system in India. So let's go to it. So the first such EdTech startup which I found really very interesting when I was surfing through the net is called Brainly. So Brainly is a knowledge sharing and a problem solving platform or an application with over 200 million users, which means students plus experts, which come together to actually solve a problem of a particular user. So this startup was formed in Poland, and this has over 200 million users till date, and it has solved over 50 million questions till date of its users. What happens is when someone has a problem, when someone has a homework to be completed and is not being able to find a solution to a particular problem, Brainly comes into the picture and it solves this particular problem within minutes like this. So this is a wonderful platform which I really found it very helpful for students, for knowledge sharing, for learning, and for experiencing the practicality of that particular problem or that particular question. So that's the first EdTech startup which I really liked, and I feel it's changing the EdTech space in India, called Brainly. So the second such EdTech startup which I truly believe is changing the landscape of education in India is Dost Education. Now Dost Education is a non-profit kind of a platform or an organization which really works at the bottomest level of the income level, the low income level, wherein it trains or it helps the low income parents to give their child a healthy early development of education. So what it does is it sends across audio and video curriculum programs, 24 weeks kind of curricular programs to the parents, to the low income segment parents, and those parents, they learn first these programs, etc., and then they teach it to their children. So what happens, it is solving a dual purpose at the lowest income of our country. It is enabling education to the parents also and to the children also. So this is what I believe it's a very beautiful platform made for the lowest income segment of our country. That is the second EdTech startup, Dost Education. The third such startup is a very interesting one. It is founded by a person called Anshuman Bapna, and that also in the middle of the pandemic. Now this startup is called Terra.do. This is a very unique kind of a startup. Why? Because it educates people or students on climate change. Now students who want to really, who are interested in the climate change policies and climate change functionalities in India or in the world, have to register at terra.do, and they have a 12-week boot camp, which these students are enabled to actually go out there and learn about climate change, learn about the problems of climate change, learn about solutions of climate change, learn about the policies, the business side of it, the financial side of it, and educate themselves in the climate change. So this is very unique kind of a startup, which I really believe it could change something in the world that is very important to all of us, and that is about climate, and to understand and to respect the climate that we are having, the nature that we have, etc., and how not to ruin it. So all these things are there in the 12-week bootcamp program, and students who want to learn, they can actually go out there and learn, solve difficult problems regarding climate and climate change. So that's the third very interesting startup, EdTech startup, that is terra.do. So guys, if you've really enjoyed this video on the EdTech startups, 3 EdTech startups that are changing the education system or the education landscape in India, please do click on the subscription button below and subscribe to our channel. Click on the like button and the notification bell so that you're always intimated when we are actually launching a new video. We would also love to know what kind of EdTech startups have you really you come across and which you feel is changing the education system in India. We would love to hear from you guys in the comment section below, and this would be a very interesting comments to actually receive from you guys. So please do comment below and keep liking our videos. Thanks a lot.